ready to talk. I didn't bring out my microphone. But I do have a dog named Little Bit. It's a little bitty dog. I have my CAD device up here.
Your what?
CAD.
Don't.
Oh, I just love it when I lay something down and it's gone. There it is. Yeah. Today we got to figure out some interior stuff while I'm waiting for stuff. So yeah, even the toad has to order shit. There's some things you just can't make. Like rubber brake lines. You shouldn't make those, I guess. Plus you got a plethora of AN fittings and stainless hoses. And I guess you could make them. Just go all the way down here. Figure all the way out. Now the next question, which one was my piece? It was that one. It was this one. Okey-dokey. So usually when I'm doing these, this is my first piece. Make it a little bigger at the top because it will taper down. I know I'm going to go with a Mustang Pinto shifter. It will go off to this side. Typically. Do I want to go longer? Maybe I should I go get one? I probably should go get one. And then do some taping here. Because this will be perfect to what we gotta go. I know where I gotta start. I need to know where I'm gonna end. I'll be right back.
Haley Bradley is the girl's name. She was charged criminal.
What the hang? Okay. I put it on top. I did put it on top. 7. Reference marks in here. The shifter will be set in there asymmetrical, so I don't get too worried about center. Because I don't care what it is, usually shifters are never really on the money. In any car, always do the driver's side a little bit. Put a reference mark here. Say that's flat-ish. I'm pretty sure my transmission's there. There. 3.5. That'll be 7. So
I got a question that might be kind of silly.
well, I don't know, it's silly. I mean, you can question away.
Well,
I'll get to the other side. Go ahead.
we talked about that our seat is going to be further back.
Correct.
So isn't that going to
Why don't
more dictate where the shifter should be? Where the
Well,
seat is?
Yeah. But right now, I'm just getting this template to kind of get an idea where we're going to put it. You'll see me, I'll make a shifter hole and stuff in it to kind of give me an idea where the shifter's going to go.
Well, that's what I'm
Right.
talking about. Is
Yeah.
if
And
we're going to
so-
be back further.
Well, and then I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it, especially while we don't have a drive shaft in here. I need to put a board or something across here to get back in it to kind of get an idea where our legs are going and sitting and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and that seems kind of, some might think that's a little ahead of the horse, but it's really what you got to do. At least I try to do, so I'm not crossing back over ground that I've already been on, in a sense.
Well, that's why I asked.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you asking. Some, other people may have the same question. But yeah, I'll put a board in here and we'll pop my blood in here. Now, that won't be exact, but it will give me an idea where we're at. And yeah, we're going to try to keep the profile of the seat down as low as we can. Where we may do a made bottom with a tiltable back with some seat parts that I got from an old junker that we stripped down, the seats and stuff, the foam and the brackets and stuff I saved. Yeah, utilizing that for just what sometimes it is an issue that if you put in fixed buckets, then it ain't gonna move other than front. You can put sliders on them, but you got to have some way of tilting it, because especially if you're on a long haul like let's say Ohio, you want to be able to go and drive comfortably. That's pretty important. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to see if my lines and stuff, I can get somewhat close to the transmission, but I can't be right on it. And then these pieces will be made as I do it. Sometimes I'll go a little wider and I'll roll these edges a little bit too to give me a crease, and then bring the metal up to it or lap it and then run a bead on it. Then when I turn the car upside down or do the bottom welds, then I'll come back in it, hit it with some welds and and seam seal it and go from there. But I'm thinking the shifter is going to be somewhere in here. So I got, let's say this point here. Now this board may be longer, so it's just going to depend on how I cut my template out. So let's say we come in this far, right here, and that's going to go off, so this will go straight. Plus I got to do a tunnel. This tunnel has to go back to the rear end. I got to true that thing up too. I'm not going to be able to do, which I got a lot to do anyway before those. Anyway, I got the U-bolts and stuff coming. And I got to get the rear end mounted in the ballpark, because then I can do what my maximum travel is, where the, you know, Lord forbid we hit a huge bump or something like that, that I don't bottom the U-joint into the tunnel. Bottoming a rear end on springs or something like that isn't good. It isn't as bad as bottoming your joint when going down the road in a tunnel. That is not good. It's usually abrupt, and if you do it bad enough, you can crack a U-joint or a cup and find yourself instantly walking. So I'll do some, and the thing with this pieces and doing this like this, if I don't like it, I go get another piece of cardboard. But I've done this a few times. And I don't. So for the shifter, because it's a Pinto Mustang shifter, has to have a flat spot to mount, and I can kind of offset it a little bit, or at least I do. Now, you don't have to, I suppose, if I want to go through the extra trouble of offsetting the arm. You can move it over even farther. Let me see the shifter there, babe. And then this one appears that it was already used as a shifter. It's already got an end on her. So you can go on top of it like that if you wanted. You can go farther back. Here's my arm on the shifter. Right here. I think that's park. That of course will have to be changed. There's a couple different ways I've added arms to it. You don't want to put a lot of heat to them, and some of them won't come out unless you disassemble the transmission. And I don't remember on the C6s. So, the other thing right here, if you go too tight, without bringing the arm out, it'll start hitting the speedometer cable, or you have to go around the speedometer cable. Trick to these shifters too, when you're doing them, is is this distance pivot points is what you're trying to duplicate. If you want your shifting radius, if they're both similar, you want them 1 to 1, these have to be pretty much right on the money. Now, if for some reason your shifting radius on the shifter arm is smaller, you got to do something to make up for that difference. But ideally, that's where you're going. Because the gates themselves up here are in a different spot also. So you got to get those timed correctly. How is this one? You see these old shifters, I usually pick them up if I see them at a swap meet fairly cheap. Because they're handy, they work good. They have all the gates already in them. Parts and rebuilding parts are plentiful because they're Mustangs, Cougars, some of the Ford cars had them too, that had the 4 shifters. And so I think we're going to be somewhere in here. But I'll dial that in when we get closer. This basically will be kind of like this shape here. Come down and have some bends to it. I mean, eventually I would get it covered with some kind of a padding and stuff, so. But it would kind of follow that shape, the bends of the cardboard right there, in fact, with a flat spot here for the shifter. And it don't have to be as sharp as those bends. I can put any kind of radius on it. Kind of smooth her out. As long as you ain't rubbing on the transmission. out my co-builder. I have to get up on my knees and get this stuff. See what's in here. So awesome. Alright. So I've got a little gusset here. This way. Actually, raise that off. Make that tough. So I need to,
I shoot her away because you're welding.
yeah. It's all good. Alright. Can I get you to turn my speed down just to hear? What was it at?
A little over 6. I put it down to 5.
That'd be fine.
Yep.
Alright, I'll leave these two.
I think you should come to this side and start at the back. Let that stuff cool.
Yeah, I could do that. Nice and warm in here now. Did blame myself on that earlier. Okay?
Yeah.
Doing okay?
Mm-hmm. Start at the back, sweetheart.
Okay. think, could you go out there on my other little bag and get that little jar of tip juice? Is the light still on the doodad?
Yeah.
Are we filming again?
Yes.
All right, hand me that the small yellow level there, baby. Thank you. Okay. I need something a little bit longer. Something to go across these rails right here. Give me an idea of where we're at level. Or I shouldn't say level, straight across. That might work.
Too long.
Yeah, too long. How about the other rusty looking one up there? Plus there's like a piece of trim. I think it's kind of a good straight edge.
It seems like it's curved.
It is curved. It is slightly curved, but it's not bad. Okay. I don't know if that's good. I think that's close. finally.
You want something else?
No, I was looking for my stick here, man. Okay. Check that gas for me, huh? I might be out of gas. The ball jumping any?
Too many things going on. I don't see the ball. I don't see the ball at all. So yeah, you're out.
Okay. I thought it was going off and splattering.
Okay. Tank change.
Use a daughter on the phone, he might skip me. Is the mic, are we filming?
Yes.
The talent's ready? Oh, that's much. Mucho grande. Nice-o. There's sweetie. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I don't want to be a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. Now get back out. I'm going to do it. Little pieces. Pieces. Tomorrow we order bombs. All right, bombs. food kicks.